You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's a big world out there, and you're just looking for a pat on the back or head. You run around the city, searching for a place to bark, working your tail off with your nose to the ground, sniffing for a few scraps, hoping someone will throw you a bone. You take each lead, collar after collar, hoping one day to take a bite out of success and become the top dog. Fortunately, you come home each day to open arms, open cans, a drink waiting for you, and a comfortable place in front of the TV set. You know you've got it good, really good, because after all, it's a doggy dog world out there. Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with your host, pet expert, and award-winning author Liz Palaika, and this week's co-hosts Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Hi, welcome to It's a Doggy Dog World. I'm your host, Liz Palaika, and with me today are my good friends Petra Burke.
Hello.
And Kate Abbott.
How do?
And in this podcast, we're going to talk about therapy dogs. We've talked about it before, but we're recording this around the holiday season where we see so much joy with the therapy dogs. Today, Kate and I and several of our friends and dogs went to a nursing home and got so many smiles. I mean, almost teary smiles sometimes. And the dogs got lots of hugs and pets. Therapy dogs are just awesome. But we're going to talk about some different aspects of it. So hold on, take a listen to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. It's a Doggy Dog World. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Petco, where the pets go. Petco, where the pets go.
Pet Life Radio has tail-wagging, fur-flying, fabulous deals for our listeners from Petco. Get $6 off your order of $60 or more and up to 40% off the entire Petco site. That's right. But that's not all. Because you're a Pet Life Radio listener, you'll also get free shipping on your order of $49 or more. $6 off, up to 40% off, and free shipping from Pet Life Radio and Petco. To get these awesome deals, go to PetcoDeals.com. That's PetcoDeals.com.
Petco, where the pets go. X-Power is a global brand that offers a complete line of stand dryers, cage dryers, and multiple blasters that cater to both home and professional groomers. Designed to be quiet, lightweight, and powerful, X-Power pet dryers will save you time, energy, and money. The X-Power B2 Pro at Home Dryer is the perfect gift for family and friends. Please check out our specials at viperpet.com and amazon.com. For more information, visit xpower.ws or call 855-855-8868.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com. We know you're begging for more. So back to It's a Doggy Dog World with your fetching hosts, Liz Palaika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Welcome back to It's a Doggy Dog World. As we're recording this, it's about 3 days after the disastrous shootings in Newtown, Connecticut. And, you know, words just can't describe that horror, and I won't even try. But the media has been taking note of the fact that there are now some therapy dogs in town. A gentleman and his English Bulldog was the first in, and now I've seen some photos of Golden Retrievers and some other therapy dogs. I think therapy dog groups have probably just headed that direction, which is wonderful because they're good for
Crying on?
They're awesome for crying on, for petting, maybe doing some tricks, and even getting a laugh. Because, as horrible as it is to say, for those that are still there, life goes on, and sometimes you need a laugh, even in the saddest of times. But therapy dogs are of use in many different situations, not just disasters, because they were there after the Oklahoma City bombing, after the World Trade Center fell. Therapy dogs have been used in most of the bigger disasters in the U.S., but just day-to-day living, too, like visiting the nursing homes coming up on the holidays like we've been doing.
A woman this morning we were visiting with, and she was telling us that one of the aides had stopped by and said, well, how you doing today? And she goes, oh, well, today's going to be a good day because today's the day the dogs come to visit me.
Right.
I mean, she plans her week around it.
Right.
So cute.
We walk in the room, she goes, "Oh, it's Monday. Oh, wonderful. The dogs are here."
Well, how many people today, as we went through and visited with people, and we said we would be back next Monday, even though it was Christmas Eve day, we would be there. And the smiles, oh, thank you, how wonderful.
Today we had the dogs dressed up a little bit for Christmas, just, some Christmas bandanas, and, we did have one pug dressed as an elf.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. It's just a little extra, I don't know. Everybody was a little more chatty today.
Yes. Well, the first visit took, about a half an hour longer than normal?
Mm-hmm. Just some of the people that have been not doing so well, all of a sudden, there was one woman in particular, she was very perky today. She
yes. She was very talky.
Her poinsettias and her amaryllis and her Christmas trees and her cards from her friends and family.
Well, and she had just had some family that drove about 7 hours to come see her a couple days ago, and she was just thrilled.
She was still riding the high of that.
Right.
We, in our local group, Love on a Leash, we get... Every day I'm getting emails from we have a lot of colleges in the area. Mm-hmm. And it's become a much more popular thing now to have the dogs on campus during finals week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm seeing more and more of that in the papers and everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Great idea.
The junior colleges, the universities, the colleges, and more and more we're being asked to go to more and more colleges. We got one the other day from one of the higher level law schools.
Oh,
very cool.
Well, I'm sure they see write-ups in the newspaper and then go, oh, us too.
Yeah, and it's a stressful time for people.
Sure.
And we think about going there for the students, but as it often turns out, it's the professors and the teachers and everybody there is stressed out.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
And one person had said that since they knew we were coming, they came half an hour early before their final. So they could have that relaxation, good time to play with a puppy and hug a dog before they went into their final.
Awesome.
Right.
She was planning ahead for it.
Uh-huh.
So, just day to day, we love and hug on our dogs when we need them.
Well,
and when we don't.
As we're recording this, I'm holding my puppy Bones, and Kate is holding her Jack Russell Terrier Quill.
Just loving on them. It's and I'm very involved with Love on a Leash, which Liz started and got me involved in, and now I'm president of the national board. But just heard tell of a group in New York that they're taking therapy dogs to a whole nother level. They've set up a facility. So while they also go places and visit, like we do with the nursing homes and the libraries and the schools, they also have a facility where people can come, both children and adults. And sometimes it's just play therapy. I say just play therapy, but that's wonderful therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's physical therapy. If you need to move your arm, well, then what's more fun than throwing a ball for your dog?
Or
for a dog.
Brushing a dog.
Brushing a dog.
Oh, very cool. So the facilities, the therapy dogs are there.
Uh-huh.
You come to them.
Yep. So
Bring it to a
they're
different level.
and they also have horse therapy at the same place at the same time.
Well, that's gotten quite a bit more popular, too. I mean, there's equine therapy groups, well, here in Southern California anyway, very, very popular, many of those.
It's just every time I turn around, there's a new facet of therapy pet work. Mm-hmm. I should say therapy pet because Love on a Leash has dogs, cats, and rabbits.
Mm-hmm. In fact, in the mail today was an issue of Cat Fancy that I'd been interviewed for on therapy cats.
Mm-hmm. And the one lady we went, she's like, now you don't have any cats with you. I can't stand cats. No, we just have to. Oh, okay, that's fine. And we'll go to other places and they'll say, well, do you have a cat? Oh, cats have always been mine. The dogs are very nice. Thank you for bringing them. But where's the cat?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when the therapy rabbit, Sprout, when he comes visiting, always gets a lot of attention. People can't believe how calm he is. And it's different, it's unusual, and it takes people out of themselves for just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And petting a rabbit's fur, oh my gosh, that's just so soft.
Oh,
Achoo.
Yeah, there's that.
If you're not allergic to it.
Right. Yes.
I think Sandy's feelings were hurt one time when I wouldn't pet him. And she, and I said, Sandy, I can't. I would be sneezing for days.
Yeah. But he's a wonderful bunny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes it's the tragic large-scale events. Mm-hmm. Well, a couple of years before I got involved with Love Unleashed, when we had the wildfires.
Oh, yes.
You went?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, we went out to the elementary school.
We got a call from a friend of ours who was a 5th grade teacher at an elementary school that the fire had burned up to the property lines of the school. The fire department was able to actually save the school, but more than half of the students and teachers lost their homes. Mm-hmm. And
just driving there
was horrific.
I think we were all glad we had our dogs. I think Liz was driving and I was petting my dog.
Because
just driving there was...
It was like driving through a disaster zone.
Yeah.
It was, but like it'd been bombed or something.
It was, oh my gosh.
It was horrible.
So this is the kids starting back at school and seeing each other again.
When they brought the kids back to school, they asked the therapy dogs to come. And what we did is we had therapy dogs at each gate as the kids came in onto the school and greeted the kids, greeted their parents, because some parents, they brought their kids to school, but they didn't want to let go of them. Mm-hmm. And so the dogs did tricks, greeted, gave kisses. We talked to everybody, welcomed them back in. And then we went around to several of the classrooms. The principal knew who had been hit the hardest, and we went to some of those classrooms. And this happened in October, and so we got thinking about it. You know, so many of these kids lost literally everything. And kids that age, elementary school, losing your toys. So we put out the word and said we would make another visit down there just before Christmas vacation. If we could get some donations, we would bring each kid a little toy or a little Christmas stocking or something like that. So toys started coming in by the pickup truckloads. Mm-hmm. A hotel in Laguna Beach, when they put up their Christmas tree, they put it up early and asked all their guests to donate, and they came down with a UPS truckload of teddy bears.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And when that arrived, Petra, her daughter, came over to help me sort them, and my living room was literally 3 foot deep in teddy bears. There was enough teddy bears that every kid in that school got a teddy bear.
Wow.
And then we had little tiny Christmas stockings that were stuffed with little toys, and they were just little toys, you know, a Matchbox car or something like that. Just little toys. But every kid in the school got one of those and a candy cane or something like that. So the dogs were there too. In fact, we had, who was it, Riker pulling the wagon?
Yeah, I think it was Riker.
We had Riker pulling the wagon with the great big red bag with all these teddy bears and toys and stuff like that. And Buddy was down in his wheelchair, and he had a big red bag full of toys. It was awesome. It was awesome. And for the kids, the dogs were probably secondary. Getting the little gift was exciting because they weren't expecting it. But they still pet the dogs, and the teachers pet the dogs, and the staff pet the dogs, and the principal pet the dogs.
I'm sure glad our dogs were heavily coated. Yeah. A lot of fur. Well, half it was petted off.
You know, it's something we do every day ourselves. And yet, you know, what is it? We talk about unconditional love as though we know what that means. Most of our therapy dogs, they don't have a relationship with the people they meet.
No.
Yet there's just something about that connection.
Yeah, Cisco has only been doing it for a few months. And he's young. He's 2.5. Started it when he turned 2. And he knows Monday mornings. And when I get his bandana out and his leash, he goes to the door. He sits there very pretty, waiting for it. When I hold out his bandana, he sticks his head in. He just absolutely loves it. And
he knows what he's doing. When he gets there, he moves towards people. He leans on them. He snuggles in with them if they allow.
Them. Yeah. And when he's allowed up on the bed with them, he jumps up very gently and he pushes, snuggles. He'd like to crawl under their skin. And it doesn't really matter how they greet him. Even the people, there's some gentlemen there that have very little mobility, but yet he jumps up, leans in. One gentleman only talks with grunts, and Cisco doesn't mind. You know, it's lean in there and love people.
Yeah, and when you watched him the first couple of visits, and then the light bulb went on.
Oh, yeah.
When he got it.
Yeah. Now I semi-joke that I could just send him in and he'd be just fine. He'd visit the whole place without me. It's fun when they figure out the game. Or the job. I'm not sure. Job sounds... Serious. And actually, Cisco does take it pretty serious. He doesn't do it like a game. But and then Bashir visits hospice patients, which you'd think would be very, very depressing. But yet, he loves it. He absolutely loves it. So, well, let's take a break for our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll talk about what your dog needs to know and what you need to know before you start doing therapy dog work. So let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. It's a Doggy Dog World. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Every pet is unique. Maybe they're gray in the muzzle, yet young at heart. Maybe they're growing out of the puppy stage and into their paws and ears. Or maybe they're just trying to maintain a more girlish figure. At PetSmart, we have the right food for your pet at a great value for you. PetSmart. Be better together.
Go to PetSmartDeal.com and save up to 30% on awesome gifts for the pets and pet people in your life. Toys, collars, leashes, PetSmart gift cards, treats, and more. Go to PetSmartDeal.com today. PetSmartDeal.com.
Dyson.
The new Dyson Animal Vacs are powerful bagless upright vacuums for homes with pets. Air muscle and radio root cyclone technology generates the strongest suction power to powerfully remove dust, dirt, and pet hair from the home or car. To order your Dyson Animal Vac, go to DysonDeals.com. DysonDeals.com to order your Dyson Animal Vac today.
Dyson. Music to your ears.
Hi, this is Marcy Davis and my service dog Whistle, and we're your hosts of Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. Working Like Dogs is the show where you can learn everything you ever wanted to know about working animals or working dogs. Whether you're a member of a working dog team or you've just seen a working dog or animal out at the mall or the grocery store and you're curious about how these amazing animals work with their human partners, then Working Like Dogs is the show for you. Join us for the inside scoop at Working Like Dogs on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com. We know you're begging for more. So back to It's a Doggy Dog World with your fetching hosts, Liz Palaika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Welcome back to It's a Doggy Dog World. We're talking today about therapy dogs. So, Kate, as the president of the board for Love on a Leash, if one of our listeners is looking at his or her dog and thinks that therapy dog work would be great, what's the first thing they need to consider?
It seems obvious, but does your dog like to meet people? And it's not often, but sometimes we'll have someone come in for therapy dog class. The person is very sociable, wants to go meet people, wants to help them. And the dog does not want to be touched.
Well, we had a gentleman a couple years ago with a corgi.
Yeah.
He very, very much wanted to do therapy dog work. And
his corgi was well-behaved and well-mannered and liked to meet a couple of people.
But she didn't want to do this as an occupation or a vocation.
Every time the class met, she started getting more and more uncomfortable sooner and sooner during the class until she was actually lifting her lip.
Yeah.
And he was getting upset, and I said, look, she's telling us in the only way she can.
Yeah.
She does not want to be touched by this many people. It's annoying to her. This is not what she wants to do. But I want to. I said, well, great, you go volunteer.
Right.
But don't make her be part of it.
Right.
That's just not what she wants to do. So, yes, they must first actually enjoy meeting people and being touched by them.
Are you saying naturally have that, not forced onto them?
Yes.
Right.
Just, I mean, you'll know. You have a dog that goes up and say, hey, hi to everybody. Or a dog that's like, I don't know about you. I'm going to hide behind mom.
Yeah. They could be shy.
Yeah.
Or they could just be self-contained. They don't care about other people touching them.
And some breeds were not bred to be social butterflies.
Yeah.
Right.
Labs and Goldens, there's lots and lots of therapy dogs who are Labs and Goldens.
Yep.
Once they grow up enough to have some self-control. But some breeds aren't. Now, some of them can learn it. Aussies tend to be a little standoffish with strangers, but if they're well socialized to begin with, and then learn what is required, many of them take to it like ducks to water, like Cisco.
I think that's why you say that with Cisco and Bashir, it's the job they figured out. Because
Yes.
they need that sense of responsibility.
Right. It
Their
is
dogs,
a job.
yeah, for them it's
Yeah.
a job. I'm making
Right.
this person feel better.
Right.
For a lot of other dogs, it's like, I'm just having fun meeting people. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all right, too.
Yeah. I
Then
think
the-
one thing also is, from my perspective anyway, and my experience, is taking into account the dog's age and stage of development. I did the therapy dog training with Bashir when he was very young, but when we started visiting, he wasn't ready for it. However, I gave him time to grow up, and then he decided, oh, yeah, okay, this is pretty cool. Cisco, I started younger, and he was able to do it younger. So it depends on the dog.
There's someone in this area, I won't name, but they sell puppies as guaranteed therapy animals.
Oh, yes.
Well, yes, it's a breed that's very likely to, but you can't guarantee.
Can't guarantee. No.
You won't know the true dog until they're an adult.
Right.
So it could take a while. So certainly, if somebody wants a therapy dog, that's a good chance. You can
know what?
increase your
Don't fall
odds.
for breeders that are advertising that way.
Yeah.
Don't get suckered into that.
Right.
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee with live critters about anything.
And then, how about training?
Yes. So, they must like to meet people, but they must be able to do it safely.
Right.
For themselves and for the people they're meeting. So they have to be under control. Even the most happiest, loving to meet golden retriever, if he throws his paws up in somebody's face to give them a full body hug, well, someone in a wheelchair, a small child, that could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have to have a little bit of self-control, or sometimes a lot,
Right.
to be able to do it safely. And then there are some specific skills that both the human and the pet can learn when doing the therapy dog work to make it safer. So we recommend a therapy class if there's one available in your area. There isn't always, but there's information out there, and hopefully Love on a Leash will have a book out this coming year about how to do some specific skills on therapy dog training.
So most dogs should start with socialization as puppies, and then a basic obedience class.
And if there's not a therapy dog,
sit and down, stay, walk on a leash nicely, no mouthing and biting. Mm-hmm. Licking needs to be under control.
Right.
Cisco does lick hands a little bit, and I let him unless people don't like it. But I also don't let him go overboard.
Yeah.
And I don't allow him to lick faces.
Right.
Because many people don't care for that. And then no pawing or scratching. No shaking hands.
Right. And again, I allow Walter to do it if I have told him to do it.
Right.
But he's not to just throw his foot on somebody.
Right. Because especially if you're visiting the elderly, that can scratch. And then
good basic obedience and control and manners.
Right.
In fact, if there's not a therapy dog class nearby, I often recommend they go look for a canine good citizen class. Because it's a lot of the same skills. Being able to sit politely while being petted or be around other animals and be polite about it.
We know you bring that up, and if there isn't a therapy dog class, they can also get like walkers or crutches. A lot of people's neighbors, friends, family members may have it.
Sure.
Dogs exposed to those items. I know right now with my aunt using a walker because of her surgery, she's kind of amazed that the dogs don't even flinch, don't even care. She pretty much has to ask them to get out of the way. And ask why we used them. And I have to explain. A lot of dogs freak out. We'll just don't know what to do. What
so
is
we
that thing?
re-expose them to it in our therapy dog classes so they get used to it. But gosh, I would think everybody has some crutches in their attic somewhere, or if not, I see them all the time.
A neighbor does. Yeah.
I see them all the time at the Goodwill.
Yeah,
and
I'll say
thrift
Goodwill
stores.
has them all the time.
Yeah, and just bring it into your own home and get them used to it.
Now, we do teach, in the therapy dog classes, we do teach them specific commands like, go say hi. Go say hi means place yourself so that someone can reach you and touch you, because we don't want to walk a dog up to someone and go, stand, stay, or the people are going to feel bad that, oh, no, don't make him visit. He doesn't have to. But if the dog knows go say hi means go close so that people can pet you, then it's much friendlier.
And not to do it until they're given that permission.
Right.
So it's both, it gives the human part of the team a chance to find out if the person wants to be approached.
Sure, yeah.
And then tells the dog, yes, you may approach that person, and here's how to do it safely. Paws up. My boy, my Walter, is a little shorter than your Aussies. And so to say hi to somebody in a wheelchair or in a bed, he has to put his feet up on something.
Well, even Cisco, who's twice as tall as Walter, I do paws up so that somebody in the bed, if the bed is elevated, they don't have to lean over. I don't want somebody to lean too far just to pet him.
And of course, leave it. We use leave it so much.
Yeah. Leave it means ignore it. And
don't eat the person's food that they have on their bedside tray.
Oh, there was a lady today who had the bowl of fruit on a shelf, on a bookshelf. And Cisco walked by and went, huh? And I went, leave it. And I, very quietly, so I didn't want to hurt her feelings, very quietly. And he just went, whoop, there is no fruit there.
It was worse in the afternoon visit. The woman had 2 large, fresh cinnamon rolls. We had to leave it on the people as well as yeah.
That's hard.
We were all wagging our tails going, we're cute. We got like a piece. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
But it's such a worthy... There's another offshoot of therapy dog work that's now for emergency. We're under search and rescue dogs.
Crisis intervention.
That go in and actually look. But during a crisis, whatever it is, it's also hard on the people that are there. And the search and rescue dogs are there for a purpose as well. So when there's now different groups that will certify and train and help people get into areas where there's been some sort of crisis, and the dogs go in to provide therapy for the emergency workers.
Oh, yeah.
That's their only purpose, to be there, not to search and rescue, but to be there for the firemen to hug on, the policemen, the medical personnel.
Right.
The possible victims. Or
I think the biggest exposure of that was 9/11.
Yes.
Right.
When they really showed that.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of times it was the search and rescue dogs taking on dual tasks. But, that's hard for everybody. I still ponder, I adore dogs. Obviously. But what is it? What is it? Different coats, different sizes, bodies, different noses. I don't know. And yet, there's something that happens that can be measured. Take somebody's blood pressure and then have them pet.
Well, I was joking earlier, petting my puppy. And he was relaxing and getting sleepy, and I was petting him, and I said, one of these days they're going to take my blood pressure and think I'm going to die.
Yeah. What, while you're petting your puppy?
While I'm petting the puppy, yeah.
These can be actually measured. So doesn't really matter why, I guess. It does work, but there's a part of me.
Yeah.
What is it?
Just today, visiting, there were 5 of us, 5 dogs, and we probably visited half of the residents in that nursing home. The other half were asleep or didn't want to see the dogs. And how many smiles those dogs created while we were there. And this can be a tough time of year. We're recording this just before Christmas. And so for people who are in a facility and not at home, not with their family, it can be a very sad time of year. The fact that we left smiles behind us.
With the staff as well.
And with the staff, too. There was a whole lot of staff that stopped by and pet the dogs. All right. Well, with that in mind, if you're interested in therapy dog work, contact a local trainer in your area and see if he or she teaches therapy dog classes or if he or she knows someone who does. That would be a good place to start.
Absolutely. Or you can go to www.loveonaleash.org. Love on a Leash, no spaces.
And there's lots of information up there. Well, if you're listening to this at the beginning of the year,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And we'll have a new show coming up in a couple weeks, so stay tuned.
Wishing you a happy year with your therapy dog, whether you share them with others or just your own.
Exactly.
Because mine are my own therapy, too.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Having a rough day? Longing for the dog days of summer? Think your fun furry friend lives a dog's life? Well, find out everything you're begging to know as Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with pet expert and award-winning author Liz Palaika. Every dog has his day, and you'll find out how to make your dog's day fun and rewarding every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.